Welcome to the Three Dot Podcast. This was almost a solo show. We will get to that in a minute. I almost started the show by calling Will and telling him not to worry about it and come back next week. He came in at the last second, the very last second. My hand was hovering above that record button, and Will is here. Will, say hello. Happy to be here.
Happy, queer. Happy to be here, yeah, for sure.
Will and I actually had a bonding experience over the weekend. We sent each other some selfies. Just guys being dudes, you should do that with your friends. You should exchange selfies once in a while. Maybe hug each other. The human body craves contact. Maybe you kiss.
Human body does.
Maybe after. Maybe after a long time, it's a longer kiss. Maybe you're looking for an apartment, and maybe you sit there and you go, well, it'd be kind of weird if I live with them because we had that kiss at one time. But you do it anyway because you both know how to save money and you figure you're going to pull women, But then you don't really go out anymore. It's kind of just you guys have date nights. That's kind of a joke, It's all really ironic. And then all of a sudden it really is date nights because you guys are trying different recipes. Maybe you have a little food fight in the kitchen and it's all adorable and your friends are there and they feel the tension. You're like, will they, won't they, Ross and Rachel kind of thing, but you don't really see it yet. Everyone else sees it. And you bring them to your family events and your family kind of whispers. I think it's weird, but they kind of ask if you're dating anyone and you lie to them. You don't know why you lie. You just can't really accept who you are yet, but you have to move to a state where you can both get married, and it's all great. Everything's going so well, except now you have a child because you want to adopt a child, and the child hates you because you're being so overbearing. You don't want them to make the same mistakes that you did growing up. And now the child's growing up and all confused and everything, and it's just not great because the bills are piling up, and now your marriage is crumbling, and you didn't even really know if you wanted to do this. All this is kind of falling apart. It's all because of that one awkward moment at a bar.
You listen to one Frank Ocean song, and it's changes your whole perspective on life.
All fucked up, and long story short is Will and I got haircuts this weekend. Is really what I'm trying to say. So we were that. Also, Will is alive and well. He had corona.
No, I had the norovirus.
The norovirus. So Will,
my fiance and I were both.
I was texting with John, and he goes, "Is Will going to be there?" And I go, "Well, I know he's dying of corona right now." And he goes, and I said, if it can take down Willie G, I will wear a mask every day, and the disease will have your head mounted on its mantle, because if it can take you down, it can
take anybody down, man. I got the cockroach gene in me, and it had me on my last gasps, dude. I was literally sitting on the bathroom, it's the shower floor with my fiance. Humble brag, our shower's big enough that we can both sit on the floor. And it's not a tub either, so don't get that idea. But we're sitting there, and she looks at me and she's like, "Well, I can't do this anymore." I'm like, what's that? What's that in reference to? We're going through a lot here. What are you talking about, honey? You mean the sickness, the relationship? I get all of it. The entire thing. I was so fucked. I was fucked up. She was hallucinating. She was like, "Why is the vent blowing cold air?" The vent was blowing 90-degree air at us.
Wait, so you both were just knocked out?
Dude, we were both fucked up. Yeah. Oh yeah. I left work on Monday. I left the office. That's the best feeling too, when everybody at work is like, "Dude, go home. You look like shit."
Yeah, I had that because I was sick a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago you were. Yeah, when we were doing our first delay.
Well, and I didn't go into one day and I was like, all right, I feel better. And the next day I looked like death. Everyone's just like, what is wrong with you?
How are you here?
I thought I was better. Some quick shout out to my get out of the way. The merch store is live, obviously. I want to give a shout out to Brent and Jenico. Jenico bought 2 shirts. Big J got his shirt. And then obviously a shout out to our early buyers. Got the link to the store is on my Facebook page again. The shirts look amazing, feel amazing. They're shipping incredibly fast, and we appreciate anyone who has bought one. You can send us a picture when you do, and you will be on our Instagram, our X at 3.podcast for both of those. And I will post them on my Facebook as well. Got a ton of likes and a ton of listens from posting the merch, so hopefully we get some more listeners out of that.
Yeah.
I know that we are getting more listeners on Spotify, at least this week, because our YouTube number looks down, but the Spotify numbers are way up. So
Spotify numbers are something that I can legitimately go to take to people. That's kind of funny.
And that actually transitions well. How are we looking on advertising? I know you were doing some of that, sending out some rates. How's I know you're sick, but I'm just curious how everything's looking.
I think you have the right idea on the list that you sent me. I think that's a great starting point. I mean, I'm gonna go after like a couple nationals.
I want to try to go after people that are like corporations or franchise.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. But I mean, like if Manscaped throws a bag at anybody, if they're willing to throw a bag at us real quick, I'll take it. We'll take the bag.
Yeah, 100%. Like that, yeah, and that's different. But like
so it's gonna. Yeah. Obviously, dude. I'm talking like your basic. I think BetterHelp would probably be a good fit, right?
BetterHelp is not a fit. That opening monologue was almost very different and much more somber. But I've been told my opening monologues have been too sad. So
dude, last week's was so sad.
It was fine.
I just no. The worst is when I hear myself laughing on the audio only version. I'm like, why am I laughing at that, dude? He's talking about his fucking. Talking about catch me if you can, his mom.
Dark humor,
Yeah, if you can't laugh about if you can't cry, laugh. You can't.
I will give a quick update on that. We have now surrounded the check making facility that Leo is in, and he's running around. Yeah, okay.
You got all right.
I do have something somber though. I meant to do this last week and I didn't. I want to give because a lot of our listeners will know who this is. I wanted to say rest in peace to Jordan Flegar. I graduated with him from Anthony Wayne. He passed away, and it was kind of like I knew him fairly well in high school. We weren't like good friends or anything, but we had a bunch of classes together. And I saw him later at a bar. Like he was always just a really nice guy. So it's always really sad when you see someone you graduated with pass away. And Anthony Wayne has the class of 2012 specifically has had. I'd have to double check, but I think 10 people already have passed away from that class.
Shit.
Which is that's
staggering.
It is.
How many did you graduate with?
Around 400, I want to say.
I mean, if it dude at scale, I was gonna think class 2012 Clinton High School, we had maybe two. Yeah, no, three. Yeah, three for sure. So, and we had like 180. So scale it.
Right, and that's
still it's awful, dude. It's awful. It's fucking awful.
And
you're not car accidents,
right?
That way.
And it's and I think it speaks to a larger problem. Obviously, I'm not going to go into all that. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to speculate. I don't know who had passed away from anything like that. But it just is a crazy thing and sad for like the Anthony Wayne community. So I just wanted to say that on the show. And a different note on Anthony Wayne, I wanted to highlight some people of Filet Mignon. Phil, obviously.
Yeah, Philly.
He dropped some new music, so on Spotify, Filet Mignon, go check him out. And he has a new song that he sent me a sneak peek of. That's a slightly different genre for him, and I think it's going to be really good. So,
song of the summer?
Potentially
song of the summer.
So I want to give a shout out to him. I've given a shout out to this guy before, but Josh Wilson, aka Summer School, on Spotify, more of a disco type of vibe. I really enjoy his music. And Oliver Hazard, I've talked about them. They do tours. They've gotten pretty big. They're kind of like a folk kind of.
I looked them up when you mentioned them first time. Yeah, very good.
And, Oliver Hazard's playing in Waterville, where a big part of Anthony Wayne community is from. So go to that. I believe it's in August, Oliver Hazard Day. They shut down the streets and bring food trucks and everything. Very cool. Yeah. So I want to highlight that. I don't know, Will, have you seen anything about this P Diddy, Meek Mill, Usher report that's going around?
No, I'm going to pull it up, though.
You haven't seen any of this?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Okay,
P Diddy, excited. Meek Mill, Usher. Meek Mill accused of freak off with Dit.
So as I understand it, P Diddy is mentioned in a lawsuit for sexual harassment of a male employee, okay? And this employee also mentioned that P. Diddy had sexual relations with Meek Mill, Usher. I don't think Bieber was mentioned, but a lot of people are speculating that Bieber was involved as well.
Okay, hold on. I got the Complex Magazine article up.
That's probably
yeah. If you want to get so we can get these allegations right. Hold on, give me 1 second. You never want to throw out allegations and them just be completely.
Oh, yeah, these are sourced. I mean, yeah.
No, absolutely. But, all right, so Complex, just like the magazine. As discussion about the latest lawsuit and allegations against Diddy continues, 2 names have been speculatively brought up: Meek Mill and Usher. To be absolutely clear, neither artist is accused of an outright crime in the suit. Furthermore, neither artist's name is visible in the documents made to the public.
What I saw is what it was like. Usher got mentioned because it said
underage girls.
Well, hold on. Just slow down a second. What I was gonna say is Usher got mentioned because the person in the lawsuit said an artist that performed at the Super Bowl. So people are saying obviously Usher.
And then there's Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. So I mean, they're saying it without saying it.
Yeah.
But before we go more into that article, because I mean, if you can find highlights of that, I would want to go through it. But it was interesting because Katt Williams did that Shannon Sharpe interview, and it went viral for a ton of reasons. But one of the things he mentioned is P Diddy was, an Illuminati. He was a guy who had to offer. You had to tell him no because he likes to party, and you have to protect. I believe Katt Williams said you had to protect your hole. Literally said
you had to protect your hole. He's a hole snatcher.
Yeah, that's literally what Katt Williams said. And everyone says, "Oh my God, this guy's just crazy." And then more and more stuff comes out that proves some of the stuff that Katt Williams was saying. And I will go into the Katt Williams Joe Rogan interview because I listened to some of that yesterday, and it's incredible. But
dude, another related article: 50 Cent can't help but once again mock Diddy over latest sexual assault allegations.
Dude, that's the thing is they're both going crazy online. Meek Mill had like 100 tweets or something, just trying, but he never like denied it or specifically talked about the allegations. He just kept saying, "I'm not gay," basically.
I'm not.
Like, and DJ Academics called him Freak Mill, which was just incredible. That was just,
act's kind of corny, but he's got some one-liners that are fire. And I don't like how Academics got popular. Like, it was pretty greasy, like literally off the Chirac Wars.
But a baiter's a baiter. That was a great tweet.
That was a great tweet.
And then, what I was
that
is we know because P Diddy's been around a long time. And
Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, dude, he probably. Bro, are you kidding?
Well, what I was reading was that he is known to have like blown up cars and stuff. Like he's that guy. And like I was reading an old story that Kid Cudi had his car blown up by P Diddy, and like Cudi says it was P Diddy that did it.
Well, you got to think in New York around that time when he was getting popping. I mean, car bombs were pretty huge. Italian mob.
Well, that and Meek Mill then had a car accident, I believe, yesterday, and he said his pedal didn't work. It was a new car.
Oh yeah, dude. No, would you be shocked if Diddy were like pulling strings behind? I think that his character. You remember Get Him to the Greek, right? His character and Get Him to the Greek. Do you know how many? Do you know? Yeah, I think that's really him. Do you know how many? Do you know how much money 8 pair of Jordans costs?
Right. And that's the thing is, it's funny, but he could just be telling the truth and no one will believe it because it's a comedy movie.
Yeah. Everything under the guise of that's why comedy is dangerous, but it's not. But it's not at all because the people who who is it talking? Oh, Daniel, dude, we were talking about Daniel Tosh, right? I ended up watching that.
And we'll stay on the Diddy thing just for a minute.
But go ahead. He brought up something. It was like. When I say Daniel Tosh, he's talking about how he knows a lot of comedians. Oh, come on. A lot of comedians went to comedy school, not funny, rich. Right. A lot of very funny comedians, no money, touring, happy as hell, right? I think Diddy was stuck in this. Dude, he lost a lot of. Did he lose a lot of homies? I feel like he deleted a lot of homies.
I was gonna say, well, that's the thing. Is now anyone that died around him, like, is P Diddy like the Clinton family? Like, is that if you're associated with Diddy, you're one day your number's gonna get called?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's
this to because a lot then. So obviously, when something like this happens, a bunch of reporters will pop up and say, "Look at me! Like I had a story about this." You know what I mean? Like, someone came out and said, "Yeah, and don't forget that Jay-Z killed people." And I was like, all right, hold on. Like, I know Jay-Z was,
pretty sure Jay-Z was just slinging rock.
Well, this reporter came out. I don't have the link. But they said Jay-Z killed one of his former mistresses. I believe her name was Kathy White, and I think he was speculating at the time, but it was one of those things where everyone's kind of jumping on this one lawsuit to say, no, look, there's other people. And it's interesting because I wonder how far that goes where people are now everyone's just getting exposed. Like we went from Meek Mill being P Diddy's little fuck slave there to now murder. Like I don't know exactly where this ends. If P Diddy's gonna start killing everyone, is other people that have killed people gonna get caught? Are we Me Too in the rap industry? With
Where's Tupac?
Well, people said Diddy did. Yeah. Diddy. Right, we're working together on that. I don't know. Well, Biggie for sure, right? I mean,
yeah, you kidding? And he probably all Biggie probably did was just like make fun of him one time. Didn't even have to fuck his bitch. You fat motherfucker.
He did.
I mean, he did probably a bunch of times, but not the point.
None of that's the point. The point is, well, then I saw.
The point is the rap game might be gay.
Well, what really started off the war was someone found out Meek Mill was following like a gay porn account on X. Throw your headphones.
Dude, what?
And then I guess he had Amazon linked and at one point bought a dildo and posted on X. Again, none of that I know. Like the gay porn one was real. People looked that up themselves and saw that it was real. The dildo one, I don't know if that was fake or not, but in general, Meek Mill is out here fucking.
He's playing with gasolina. He's Daddy Yankeeing.
Trying to hide in plain sight, I guess. I don't know what exactly is going on there.
I don't know. I typed in Jay-Z murder, by the way, on Google, and there's like too much. But there is one that's pretty interesting. Jay-Z pleads guilty in a 1999 stabbing. So
I knew about that.
Yeah, so he did stab a dude. Which, if you can stab a dude, it's not too far off to say that you can fucking.
Well, it's also interesting the defenses they use because I was reading that article about the Kathy White. It was Jay-Z and Kathy White was the woman who died, and I believe they said it was an aneurysm, but then people are saying Jay-Z killed her. But they asked someone around Jay-Z about it, and the guy was like, Beyonce knows that Jay-Z fucks around. Like Beyonce fucks around too. They both do their thing, and like no one would believe. Like, why would he do that? Like, it's known already. But it kind of goes to like anyone in power could just be like, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, and there's even going back to Billy Clinton, there's even like the president of the United States had a whore
in the Oval Office.
In the Oval Office.
And topped off in the Oval Office. That'd be a good bar if Bill Clinton was a rapper.
Yeah, it would. I was showing Miranda videos of him playing saxophone the other day, and she's like, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Because he's the coolest president ever." And then I watched the video of Obama shaking he was in the Team USA basketball locker room, shakes the assistant coach's white hand, and then Kevin Durant. Jesus Christ.
Top seat. All right, no.
I'm the top seat, and I'm getting top in my top seat. Your bitch shaped like an oval while I'm in the oval.
Okay. All right, we about to make a song.
We can get something started. I think the evidence is pretty clear.
Did you watch any of the Katt Williams Rogan interview?
I saw that Powerful JRE was back posting full shows, and I'm like, oh, Spotify deal's over. Shit.
I was listening on Spotify, which is cool.
Yeah, but having the visual medium back on YouTube is pretty cool.
100%. But I forgot about the Spotify deal, and it was there, so I was like, oh, I'll check it out. I got about halfway through. It's a 3-hour interview.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Rogan. It depends on who he has on. Obviously, we've done all that before.
I mean, the Kanye one I love.
Real quick subtopic off of the Katt Williams one.
Yeah.
Was Joe Rogan starts by saying, it's crazy we never met, and Katt Williams is being really respectful. Like, yeah, we just never really met. And then Rogan's like, and it's crazy because there's only like 500 of us, comedians, and Katt Williams just kind of being silent. And then Rogan's like, yeah, it's actually more like 250. And Katt Williams is sitting there like, there's 5. Like, there's 5 of us that are like good.
Yeah.
It was also great because Katt Williams had a quote on the Shannon Sharp interview where he talked about how Rogan has all his friends who have never been funny and he promotes them. And it is true. I wanted to talk about this a few times, but we just never got to it. But like, I love Rogan as an interviewer and a podcaster. His stand-up is fine.
The stand-up's dog shit. I hate it. It's not for me. I mean, but it's just the stand-up's the same as like music, bro, in my opinion. And the more mainstream it gets, the more variety you're gonna have, like the more different blends, right?
People probably support Rogan because of the podcast. They love, like, they're gonna laugh at whatever he kind of says, and some of his stuff isn't bad, but it's a lot of just, it feels amateur. You know what I mean? Like, it's very like, it's crazy how high you get, and you see, like, it's
yeah,
which is fine, but I also think that like what he's the reason Brendan Schaub did stand up, and he's one of the worst comics, podcasters, whatever you want to call them I've ever seen in my life. Oh boy,
who's covering Cornell? Dateline. Was it Indiana Jones that won Halloween?
What is happening?
Some Asian. Oh, shit. That was my year. Oh, hold up. I guess there's an episode of Dateline. When I was at Cornell, there was a kid who fucking killed his dad. Is it the kid who killed his dad? The dude, my fucking roommate. My roommate was in his frat. That's pretty fucked. I gotta go. Yeah, Charlie Tan. Yeah, that's his name. Look him up if you wanna. His dad was super abusive, so he fucking killed him. It's on Dateline right now.
No, yeah, you can tell that. Fill us in on that, like towards the end, for real, because I'm curious.
Oh yeah, of course. So pretty much not now. Well, at the end.
You were so ready to just
Tony
jump.
Snow.
No, but Rogan comedians in general, like Shane Gillis, he got lucky. Like Shane Gillis isn't like a Rogan guy, but like he's friends with him and he's funny. Mark Norman's pretty good.
I watched a video of Shane Gillis, like, not G-check, but he was just like, yeah, to Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz started playing videos of Dexter, and Shane Gillis is just like, yo, that's not funny.
I hate Schultz.
Dude.
Not a Schultz guy.
No, so off-putting. Like, the one thing that really, like, pushed me away from him was when he brought his dad, like, on the stage, on, like, there was some random stage, he had multiple camera angles, and he's, like, crying to his dad, and he's like, remember when I told you I wanted to play Madison Square Garden? Well, I did it, Dad. I'm doing it. Sick, dude.
No one knows the real Dice Clay.
No one knows the real Dice
Clay. But Dice Clay's a legend. I saw him actually like a year ago, and he was
Dice is unreal.
Like, that's the difference. Is like guys who are really, really good and work on it. Like Bert Kreischer's the number one. That is just, I cannot stand him. And
he was at the tip of my tongue when Miranda was like, "Hey Will, Cornell's on Dateline.
Bert Kreischer is horrible in my opinion. Yeah. I've always hated him, and Rogan props him up, all that. And the thing is, I feel like a lot of these comedians now just get popular, and then they just think they are good, like. And Rogan,
there's an entitlement that comes, right? It's like,
and if Rogan thinks you're funny, then
I'm a professional funny person.
Exactly. Like Schaub, for example, was one of the worst example of that happening.
Schaub's just a meme now.
Oh, 100%. But I think it's also funny because, like, a lot of them, Rogan kind of does this too, where he talks about comedy in like this uppity, kind of way, where he's like, well,
it is high art.
Right, and Anthony Jeselnik, who I'm not a huge fan of, but obviously a very good comedian. He is like
he's a great writer. He's a great writer, exactly. Great joke writer.
And he had a quote saying, a lot of people say comedian's job is to say, the worst thing ever or whatever. But he's like, no, it's not. Like, if you get crap for it, you didn't get away with it. The art is getting away with it, like making it funny. And like, and I thought that was a very interesting quote, because a lot of guys now just try to go for shock value. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's comedian, you shouldn't. This is comedy. It's like, yeah, but the comedy should be, it's funny. Like, you can't just say it. You know what I mean? And you getting away with it is what makes you a good comedian.
The best humor is that shit that straddles the laugh cry line, right? The stuff that should make you cry, but it makes you laugh, right? That's yeah.
Just another interesting quote I had that I love is Bryan Cranston was talking about comedic acting, and he said a comedic actor or stand-up, the joke should never be in on the joke. Like, everything should be serious to them because that's what's funny. If you're taking the onus off the crowd if you're laughing and you're like in on it. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
I've
Oh yeah.
seen two interesting quotes that work very well together, and a lot of these guys now I feel like are just say something crazy, and that's the whole joke. Or like, oh, okay, I can't believe I said that. You know what I mean? Like it feels very lazy now.
I think the way that Shane Gillis navigated his SNL monologue was pretty fantastic. If you listen back to it, it has a laugh track. When you watch it live, there were fucking crickets, dude. There were
And he
crickets.
was actually nervous doing
He
it.
was
You know,
so nervous.
that's
Isn't when he went to talk about his dad though, dude?
but and that's the thing is he said stuff that on paper is offensive. You know what I mean? Like it's not, but he did it in a way that is comedic. You know,
I guess
like
he told Lauren Michaels.
quote.
I guess he told Lauren Michaels that he was gonna say gay and retarded. And Lauren was like, okay, Shane, I trust you.
Right. And one thing is Lauren Michaels deep down still knows like what's funny.
What's funny? Yeah.
Yeah, like and he's obviously wavered from what the show used to be because it sucks now. I mean,
Dude, it was liberal propaganda. The first
100%.
It
Well,
was
like,
crazy.
but the fact that he lets Gillis do that and trust him, you know what I mean, is shows that he's still there. And
I think it was part of it was a big like, I'm sorry as well, you know. We're sorry.
gave it away, and it
A
got a
little
whole
BP oil spill.
week, like people
Yeah.
that love Shane has a huge
And how about like every popular comedian in the game watching SNL for like the first time in years?
right, exactly. And like you said, the thing is like he didn't just like say gay, you know what I mean, or say retarded. Like that,
there was a point to it.
was done well, and like the retarded thing was about a family member and how he actually loves them and supports
Gay,
them.
he was talking about himself as a little boy.
Right, exactly. And then that's the thing is like I'm not gonna sit here and get into a whole debate of whether you should say things or not, but like the way he did it was what
you can navigate language without offending people.
Right. And the thing is, and that's what I mean with like the Josnick thing is he gets the shock value from using those words, but then the joke itself is not at all about that. The joke isn't about the word retarded. It's about him like experience.
100%. I think the fact that he does, it's almost like a I don't want to say he's laughing at himself, but in a lot of I don't like no, he is, dude. Like my niece looks like Uncle Shane. Oh yeah, he does. But I heard one critique of it from a fan. He was like, "Oh, he's bringing material on stage." I was like, "Do you not realize that most people who watch SNL are like not people who watch stand-up comedy just in their leisure?"
Right. And
probably
like,
miss beautiful dogs.
And that's the thing is like I do that too, where I'm like, oh, he's doing his material, but like you have to, like, I mean, show you who you
are. Unless you're fucking Louis C.K., which like he did all new material.
Offensive material. Louis C.K.'s SNL monologue about
so funny
bounce bars was it's
one of the all times.
That is what's you go into such a taboo topic, but making it not about that. The joke is it's the joke's aligned with it, but it's not about that.
And it ended up being too.
I'm not gonna trust the Louis C.K. one. You can look that up yourself. But it's very, very funny. But it's very, very. I get why people would find it offensive. Same with the Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
I can see why people would be offended, and I see why people would see a clip of it and just think, "Oh my god, it's horrible." But like, if you watch the whole set, it's not about those things.
No, and it's what's funny. I think the best part about it too is like the end. He's like, "Oh, he's got 21 Savage." Dude,
right.
Everything that 21 said in Red Rum is exponentially worse than anything that Shane could have said on the mic.
It's also true. But yeah, like you said too, it is great to just see him just trying to do his act and then be like, okay, I thought that would get a laugh.
Oops, sorry. Oops. It's very well lit in here, and I can see all you guys are not having a good time.
But yeah, but that's the thing. That's what you have to do when you're doing that kind of material is like realize that they might not be with you. Like it's your job to get them back.
And like, oh, I don't have any material that's good for TV. Like that's
right.
People are using that setting as, oh, he's bombing. No, he's not bombing. He's just trying to get the crowd like he's trying to. I don't know. It's different. You have to be seeing it, and like I saw Shane when he was like not like popping at all. I think right after he got fired for the blind mic thing, or not for the blind mic thing.
The SNL.
Yeah, right after he was on blind mic's thing, I saw him. Yeah. So
also, Shane Gillis' sketches are funnier than anything SNL has put out.
Yeah,
like in the last 10 years.
Him and Goodburger, dude, they were so funny together. They worked so well.
One, the one that kills me is when he's on the plane.
Oh.
Everyone called their loved ones because the plane's going down. He just starts calling people he hates. He's like,
I'm gonna come fucking kill you. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Just gonna date someone else, probably in the next year. That pisses me off. What? She's not gonna bitch at me for the last 5 minutes of my life? Very funny sketches. All of that is to say, just from the Katt Williams. That introduction just made me think of all of that. Is how the Joe Rogan comics I don't love. I think they all are entitled, like you said, and very few of them are actually funny and like work at it. But the Katt Williams thing was amazing to hear his interview on there because Shannon Sharp, he was kind of just letting loose. He was amplified.
He was shooting from the hip, and Shannon Sharp. What are you talking about? That's the one I watched.
But with Rogan, he was very muted, very serious. Not like he's a comedian, but he was very, taking everything very seriously.
For sure.
And he had the entire discussion is really fascinating because Katt's a smart guy. People don't always know that because part of his performance and character is this hype man, very.
Oh yeah, almost like Flava Flav. Like right. He's the public enemy of comedy in a lot of ways. But he comes from that Def Jam era too, like with the Wayans brothers and Martin Lawrence.
Katt Williams is a hilarious stand-up.
So funny, dude.
I was reading about him, and he very intelligent, started very young, toured very young, had a lot of life experience. But he talked about on Rogan how he used to read all the time. Like he's who knows if the numbers are right, but he said he read thousands of books, and you get that from reading, intelligence, reading different things. And one in society, I think we've lost that. No one
dude.
Reads. But like they talked about religion, they talked about conspiracy theories. Like it was a very old school Joe Rogan episode.
Jehovah's Witness raised in Dayton, Ohio. Katt Williams? Katt Williams. Jehovah's Witness raised in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh yeah, Ohio produces the best. Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams.
Yeah, dude.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, dude. Jeffrey Dahmer. OH. My mom, I'm pretty sure, was on campus with Dahmer.
Really?
Same years. It was like 79 or something, right? He was there.
You didn't listen to any of the Rogan Katt Williams thing though?
No, I listened to Katt on Shannon Sharp because I just saw so many clips on X. I was like, I gotta watch
this shit. Katt Williams thing because like early on it's like funny but like they get into some very deep conspiracy technology.
Oh, I love it.
Like I said, it's a very old school Rogan episode, and Katt Williams spends a lot of time talking about the Anunnaki.
The Anunnaki shit. Yeah,
Sumerian deity.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. Which sent me down a whole TikTok wormhole a rabbit hole of Anunnaki, Egypt, pyramids, and like I love all this stuff. I find it all fascinating. It was really interesting to hear Katt Williams talk about it because it was also great because everything Rogan said, Katt Williams was like, no. let me tell you how it actually is. Let's see here.
Have you by any chance do you know Dan Soder, obviously, right?
I do, yeah.
If you watched it, dude, I don't generally like I didn't like his last shit, but he hasn't dropped anything in a while. His last special, dude, is so funny. That's where I was reminded of the Hero 9/11 Enrique Iglesias remix. I remembered that they played that on the radio just every fucking 6 hours on the 6 hours, Hero, him talking about wanting to fuck Anna Kournikova and like, I jumped out a window. You'd have to hear it for context. It's fucking.
I was gonna say. I was waiting for you.
I have it. It's the most ridiculous thing of all time. Right here. Here we go. Can you hear? I understand in which to proceed.
But I heard that people were jumping out the building. That just got me most upset. And 500 people still in the building. Did you? Because I know it just didn't make it. I know they didn't make it.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning.
The second and last tower, the World Trade Tower.
All right.
So would you like to provide context as to what this video is?
Okay, so this is Hero by Enrique Iglesias, but somebody decided to just throw in 9/11 audio clips of it. And I remember this particular mix being played on the radio when we were kids, like for 6 months. It was for 6 months afterwards. It was just nonstop. Go. Let's go. 9/11 Enrique Iglesias mix. But I'll turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, because
By a faceless
Jarring.
coward,
A faceless coward.
and freedom will be defended.
Would you dance
If I asked you.
to dance?
Our hearts and prayers are with the victims.
Would you run?
Some people
That's inappropriate, right?
what?
Just
That
Enrique, just the whole fucking thing.
I mean, yeah. I don't think they played it because it was good.
are going into churches.
Never look back.
There was this girl that had.
There's nothing funny about
Would you
9/11.
cry
You just couldn't outrun it.
if you saw me
You
cry?
just couldn't outrun this cloud of dust.
And would you save my soul tonight?
You prepare for the worst, but you don't believe that it'll happen.
Would you tremble
This is my favorite part.
And this is the worst.
if I touched your lips?
I was thrown to a window.
Would you laugh?
I was thrown to a window.
Here is where comedy is very subjective because oh, are you just laughing because it's Enrique Iglesias? Like, is that
The song is literally, dude, it's the most sexually provocative fucking song ever. It's just him talking about wanting to fuck Anna Kournikova, bro. Would you tremble if I touched your lips?
to be fair, it's
I was
cool.
thrown out a window. What's subjectively funny about that, dude? That's fucking
No,
hilarious.
Oh, so you're saying that's objectively funny?
Yeah, that's objectively funny. I
Okay.
think. I don't think there's anything funny about 9/11, but this shit, God. Oh. But Dan Soder, thank you, Dan Soder, for reminding me that this actually exists. I had to like refresh my memory back. I was, did that really fucking happen? Were they really remixing Enrique to 9/11 audio tracks? And they did.
I think it's great. I watched every day the Howard Stern live broadcast during 9/11.
Oh my God. Dude, I was listening to old clips of Howard, him talking to a serial killer, 97.
Yeah. 100%.
And now he's a pussy?
Oh, he's 100% pussy now.
Nah.
Opie and Anthony were way better when they came around. Well, Anthony was. Opie sucked.
No, I think the peak of Howard Stern was when Artie was there.
See, but that was even older than.
That's what that's what I grew up with when listening to in the car with my dad. Like, obviously bad father, but you know, listening to K Rock, Artie Lang. That was the soundtrack to school, basically.
Let's see here. Where was I after that? Wonderful.
Dude, that's a refresher right there. That's a bookmark.
I had a lot on video games actually.
Go ahead, shoot from the hip.
I don't
Hip
know.
your shoot.
Well, it's broken into a lot of different things. But I know where it started was all these streamers, now, like that's the whole thing as everyone watches. And I think it's good that video games is like accessible to everyone. Like anyone can be good at a video game. But I also think that kind of sucks because not everyone will make it, but they think they will because it is easy. Like you play a video game and you stream. So then everyone thinks they can do it.
And you can even be bad at the video game if you're entertaining. Like,
and that's kind of what we were saying with the comedy is like anyone can do it. And you see someone, Katt Williams talks about that. He's like, you see someone just talk and you think, oh, I could just talk. Like I could just go up there and be funny, but you don't see that Katt Williams has worked on every single thing he's ever said.
Yeah.
Same with video games, and like you see streamers with like no one watching, and it's really depressing. Like when you see people with zero.
I know those people.
100%. Like, or a guy I work with was telling me how he streams, and he got he got shouted out by like a big streamer, and then he had thousands of people watching him just because of that. And it's kind of Rogan thing. You go on Rogan, all of a sudden you have fans.
An incubator. It's almost like that's a good way to. That's actually a good way to call it, the Joe Rogan comic incubator.
Well, video games in general, like now, life's indoors now. You know,
yeah.
Like internet culture, tough guy scene, it all kind of ties in to that. You know, you need to get attention.
GTA 5. Dude.
There's no sense of adventure because like you could just be in a game. Like no one wants to go find stuff. You know, like all that's just kind of gone.
And everything's simulated too. So like even if your job has like some sort of simulator, I'm sure. Like there's like a factory worker simulator now. You know, and like a power wash simulator.
Or I want to make that game if it doesn't exist already. But also it is interesting because in small kids, like competitiveness is gone because they don't want to suck at the game. Like I remember like when I first got a Madden and I was in like 3rd grade, I sucked so bad at the game and I would get just
shit pumped. Yeah. by your boys. Yeah. Yeah. And then you do it then you do a naked lap or two and then you get better.
Exactly. I mean, you buy an apartment together, like then
you buy an apartment.
But you think like that's what I'm saying, because you had to get better. Like
for sure, man.
At the game. I remember my cousin Alex, they were playing like it wasn't the show yet, but it was like 2K, MLB 2K or something.
Yeah, one of them, or like MLB Heat or some shit.
I walk in and I'm like, "Where are you guys playing?" They're like, "Oh, MLB or whatever." It's him and his buddy, right? And we're on vacation in Florida somewhere, and I'm watching, and they changed the settings so that every pitch was down the middle, every pitch was a fastball, and they literally just had to push a button and it was a home run. But then they would get like really excited when they hit it out. Like, what is this? Like, where is the drive to get good at the game? It's like, we can't. We swing too much. We'll get better. Like, there's no.
We have no play discipline.
It was just a very.
You don't know how to work a count.
In a vacuum small thing. Yeah, come on, 2-2.
No such thing as a good AB.
Hey, a walk's as good as a hit. Get on base. No, but like. It was just kind of a microcosm of like, oh well, we'll just make it so we're good. You know, there's no desire to be good.
Idiot proof it, dude.
Exactly.
Turn the sliders all the way up. That's another way to, especially in the MLB games, dude, because those are actually kind of fucking hard.
They are hard. That's what I mean. I play the show sometimes. And I still get pissed at myself because I'll swing that slider in the dirt and I'll strike out.
And then you just got to tip your cap, dude.
Exactly. Right play. Also the NCAA game I cannot wait for.
Oh fuck, dude! I know. We got to save that. Oh my god, we got to do like an online dynasty type thing. Like get a couple.
We should do that. Let's do that.
Like obviously only one of us is going to get to play with Ohio State, so we got to do like a seeding tournament to get in, right? So and then whoever's like worst in the seeding, whoever scores more gets first pick. Everybody's going to want to be Ohio State.
Maybe we'll see who all wants to be in, and we could do like with our listeners.
That would be So
big dynasty.
Yeah, that'd be fun as hell. I'm gonna put up follow at 3.podcast on IG and TikTok and YouTube too. I think that's the 3.podcast now on YouTube.
I didn't know if that was. I never say that because I didn't know if that was fixed. Okay.
Yeah, it is fixed. I'm pretty sure. But send us a message if you want to be in our dynasty league.
Also, the NCAA, they're giving $600 to every player. Did you see that?
$600?
Yeah. And people are pissed. And it's like, we want the game. Regardless of whether they're like this, I would play the game. Like
I would play the game with QB number 1, the way it used to be. Yeah, dude.
No problem with that.
We just want the game.
And they're getting some money, and not every player is a star. So it's like when they say, "Oh, well, he needs to make $100 million." No, you don't get. If you want profit sharing, okay, fight for that. But just because the game's going to make a ton of money, it's because of the demand for the game. Not
you know what they should do? Unionize and shut the fuck up.
That went so well the first time.
Yeah, it did, right?
But just to wrap up kind of video game thing, I had more, but we're already at like 45 minutes. I got some other stuff to get to. You see, there's a YouTuber that stole a car for views. Like literally drove and stole a car. There's a guy who jumped out of a plane and let the plane crash. Like where are we headed as a society with people just What are you gonna do next?
I think I know where that started, by the way. Project X. I was trying to think like, oh, what's the turning point? When did kids become retarded? Oh, Project X.
Well, see, now you're Shane Gillis. Now you're R-wording all over the place.
I didn't mean to. but when it's part of your vernacular, it's a tough thing to eliminate. And I also live in an area of New York it's a nice little pocket of conservatism in an otherwise liberal shithole. Still get taxed the same as everybody else in this liberal shithole, but it's a little more shooting from the hip out here as well.
Tide Pods, you remember that?
I do, yeah. That was the thing, yeah. Eating fucking Tide, just crunching them.
We were in college and we did that. John Watkins was his name.
Johnny Hopkins, you and Sloan Kettering blazing that shit up every day.
Exactly. You don't know anyone named Johnny Hopkins. Johnny Watkins. We dared him to do it, and he bit a Tide Pod and exploded everywhere.
R.I.P. Johnny Watkins.
Yeah,
that was in college, dude. The Tide Pod things.
Well, but I'm saying we
were munching those.
I'm saying we were doing it though. It wasn't we were preschoolers.
But we weren't filming ourselves doing it.
Oh no, I have a video still.
Oh, you do? Yeah, we didn't do that.
I don't know. That would have been like 3 phones ago. I don't know.
Well, because hazing was such a big thing. Like literally, if any underclassman did anything that they didn't want to do and it was filmed or anything, like immediate fucking like you're skating for 2 hours. So we tried to avoid anything.
I take that back. That was a hypothetical that we made Jonathan Watkins bite the Tide Pod. That was a joke, little jokey joke.
Yeah, a little joke. You didn't make him.
This ties into you, but we're not going to do your whole sickness thing again. But COVID is now the flu.
Yeah, COVID's the flu now.
The CDC literally came out and said that treated as the flu now. Like that's
what were we saying 4 years ago?
I you said that 3 years ago, and you were considered like a Nazi, but now it's official. So like. What's new? Was it the vaccination, or are we acknowledging that it's more mild than we thought at the time? Like, what is going on? What's the reason for that? And I'm not saying like full conspiracy, only because I don't know, but like
it's not a conspiracy when it's right in front of your fucking face, dude.
I wasn't anti-vax. I wasn't yelling about like mask mandates. I did temperature checks. I worked through the pandemic and all that because I was considered essential.
Because you needed your fucking yeah.
Run over the punchline one more fucking time, Will.
I'll be right back.
More fucking.
No, I will be right back. I just need to grab a lighter.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The end of that wasn't even that great, but I was going to say we worked through the entire pandemic because we were considered essential. Now we're back to unskilled labor. Not a great joke, not phenomenal, but within the whole paragraph, that would have been fine. But Will had to jump over it again. I'm not even sure what he said, but I'm sure it was remarkable. And now he's left. He's back now. Hi, Will.
Hey.
Welcome back. Gilbert Arenas wants Europeans out of the NBA.
Really? Why?
He says that the problem with the NBA and all the high scoring is no one plays defense, and he says Europeans don't play defense, so we need to get rid of them.
So he's basically saying white people don't play defense.
A little bit, but I don't think it. I think just fundamentals in general in the NBA are lacking. Like you had Pat Bev during a timeout showing a rookie how to set a screen. Like like it's just AAU's ruined basketball, not Europeans, not any race. Like I don't know what Gilbert Arenas is doing. Like.
Not a clue, man. Although Agent Zero's always been all over the place.
That's true. Well, that's kind of thing with every NBA player having a podcast now. Like these aren't always the most intelligent people, and they just kind of just say things like not that they're dumb either, but like you shoot from the hip. And like when you do that, and you just think you can say whatever on a podcast, you're gonna end up walking into it a few times. So like saying Europeans should be out of the league is crazy. Like. And people immediately responded like Marc Gasol has defensive MVP awards. Like Pau Gasol was a defensive player. Like
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. What about right now? Wemby, Giannis. Like
yeah.
I mean, like it's just what was.
That's why I think he meant white people. Because any like fucking.
You tell me Goran Dragic isn't locking down?
He's clamps, dude.
Hey, have you been watching any Columbine videos?
Columbine? No. We're getting on an anniversary.
The college players are trying out for the NFL 40 times. Columbine.
Oh, the Columbine? Oh, I haven't been paying.
Combine. That's right.
Okay. No, I haven't been paying attention to the Columbine, the NFL Columbine that much this year.
Yeah. I did see Blake Corum ran a 4.53. Not great. I saw the fastest linebacker shuttle times were Tommy Eichenberg and Steel Chambers. Oh, JJ McCarthy do average at best, throwing the ball. Average, I would say.
He's an average distributor of the football.
At best, yes. I did have another.
Denzel picked that ball off. I'm just saying.
Yes, 100%. I was at Domo Sushi last night. Very. What?
Arigato.
Good. The Domo is a very, very good sushi place in Toledo, and we were doing carryout because Haley likes sushi. I don't. Not the point. I eat up the land, but I go in there and during carryout. I don't know if you do this. I look at people's body language a lot. Like especially if you're just waiting for food, you're just observing people, right?
Yeah, of course. People watching.
And I don't know if you've seen studies where like people's legs or feet when they're talking to someone, if they're more like open or facing the person, they're more accepting or find them attractive or whatever the case may be. But if they're more closed or whatever, or
they're guarded.
Yeah, they're guarded or they don't feel comfortable, whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm not kidding, every single table had a guy with his legs open, and every girl was either crossed or literally turned to the side, like in the seat. I don't know how it was like comfortable. They were literally turned, kind of how I am on the show right now.
Yeah, but you look good. You have a good profile.
Well, I try. Haircut, flex.
If I did mine, I just look. It's not good. You see, like
but,
you do not want to put me on a piece of.
And I'm like, what does this say about the Toledo dating scene that every single couple in here has not faced each other? Like, it was very just.
That's so bizarre, dude.
It was every single one, and I'm like, how is this happening? And again, it's not end all be all, but at least one of them, like it's accurate.
What's like median age of the couples? Do you think are they like 20s, like
mid 20s, early 30s was probably our range.
And there's that awkward. I mean, COVID broke people, dude. Like especially people who didn't have wheels going into it. Like if you didn't already have game going into COVID, coming out of it, you're not gonna have a game.
There was only three couples in there that didn't have the weird body language, and they were all older.
You've been probably not including you and Haley.
We weren't there together. I was just getting carry out, so that's why.
I see. So you were very much in the thick of people watching.
Yeah, 100%. I was just scanning the room, surveilling, and evaluating. This might be controversial, but we watched Aquaman 2 the other night at Haley's dad's house.
It's in the queue.
What?
It's in the queue. Are you saying I should probably take it out?
You might want to. It's not a great movie. Okay, it's fun. It's a movie that you don't need to pay attention. Stuff's happening. You can leave the room, come back. You're not missing anything. Which is why sometimes those movies are fine. But I'm gonna sit here and say Aquaman 2 is better than Oppenheimer, and I hated Aquaman 2.
Ooh, Oppenheimer was a tough watch. It took me like 4 watches to get through it just because I kept falling asleep.
We didn't finish it.
And
I'm tired to go back to it. Now, normally, like, I'm in for movies that are like historical and you're telling a story and all that, but I don't know. Oppenheimer to me was not this masterpiece that everyone's talking about. Like, it wasn't. It was just it was a bunch of lectures.
It was no Gone with the Wind. It was no Casablanca. It wasn't Pulp Fiction. It wasn't
no Driver. I'm not inspired to go kill someone. Let's do that reference again. But no, I might try it again. But I did not sit there. I wasn't blown away by any performances. I wasn't blown away by like the storytelling. None of it. I really wasn't. Like I have no problem with movies that are considered quote unquote boring. Like it wasn't that. It just to me the substance to it was not great, and I might try it again, and I might be wrong, and I'm sure it better pick up. But like we sat there, and I'm like, we're an hour.
It doesn't, dude. It doesn't. It has the same pace throughout, and I hate that they like added this. Like, yeah, we know that Oppenheimer was a communist. Like, duh. He's a Jew. Right. He was a Jew in the 19. What?
And what? And also, like the whole thing is, like, okay, he went to this lecture hall, and here is them talking, and here this guy has an idea, and now this is the new idea, and it's just like, okay, let's get it moving. Let's go. Like, I don't need to hear. I don't need to see how the sausage is made.
The bomb should have moved the pace of the movie, and it didn't. The extra story arcs they tried to add moved the it was fucking weird.
And the whole, like, Mark Wahlberg as the Colonel was, or not Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon as the Colonel was fine. Like, he did okay. Didn't really do anything for me. And I forget the guy's name, but Thomas Shelby playing
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. He was fine.
He
Like,
was
nothing.
fine. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was objectively bad.
I'm trying to think because
it was such a bad movie. You don't even.
I didn't have much to do. That's the thing. Yeah, he didn't have a ton to be Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was. I think if I would have cast it, I would have cast Matt Damon as the congressman, and I would have flipped those two roles. Yeah, 100%.
I just don't. Why is it such a masterpiece? Like, why are people so?
I think it's because it signifies such an important piece, like part of it's basically documenting when the U.S. became the world's lone superpower.
And in that in itself, like, I sat there and I'm like, this should be a documentary. It'd be a great documentary. Or if your whole thing is about Oppenheimer dealing with what he made, then do the bomb and then after. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't need to see the build up to it. And the woman that he was like hooking up with, and they're naked in the hotel room, like, all that it wasn't like cinematic. It wasn't. It was very just like heavy handed. Here's what's going. Nothing felt.
It was the most rushed 3 hours ever, too.
Yes, that's exactly yes.
There were so many plot lines going on that they couldn't really latch onto one. And it sort of made the whole thing a fucking drag. It was terrible.
And at one point, she's so mysterious, and she's a genius, and she grabs a book, and it's like, what does this say? And it's like, I have become death to destroy the world, which is what he famously said after the bomb. It's like, okay, you don't need to do that. What are we, Forrest Gump? Like, we're given foreshadowing that, I don't know. I did not like it as much as everyone sits here and says.
It's up for like 10 Oscars.
That's what I mean. And normally those movies I like, or I can see why people like them. You know what I mean? Oppenheimer is the first one that has been like universally liked that I've sat here and been like, I didn't enjoy it. Like, it's not like I'm sitting here and I hate everything. It's just, this is the first one that I've seen when I'm like not a fan.
No, true. I couldn't agree more. The only thing that I can do is echo what you just said. It was fucking awful. I mean, I sat through the whole thing. It did not pick up.
I had no desire to try to watch the rest of it. Just zero.
It was a scatterbrained piece of garbage.
Traitors season 2. We are finished with it now. Very good. Have you watched Traitors yet?
We're gonna start.
Reality TV.
Yeah, we were gonna start last night. Literally, we had Traitors up, and I was like, "Oh, Cheddar loves this show." And Miranda's like, "You mean Cheddar's wife likes this show?" And I'm like, "No, he gave actual like, no, he said it was good." So
it's a great show.
We are gonna try it. It's in the queue as well.
When you start it, let me know.
No, I will for sure. It'll be brought up.
And we did that last week. We don't have to go into it. I have some octopus notes, but we're not going to do that this week. I'm going to foreshadow that for next week.
Okay, perfect.
Big. I think that's about it for my list here. But
I'll probably have this. Could probably be pushed to next week to me harassing the pedophile that moved into town.
I literally have on here Will's pedophile.
Yeah. So there'll be more. I can preview it. I mean, a pedophile moved into town and didn't register, and I live in like a legal gray area. It's sovereign territory, so like there's a lot. It's Indian land, so a lot of cops just don't come here. And the BIA is useless. So, yeah, there's a pedophile that I've been harassing, trying to get him to move the fuck out of this town. Yeah, that's about it.
We will update that next week.
Yeah, we'll update it next week. I'll have done more shit to him by this week cycle.
Perfect. Let's see. I think I'm all set. So yeah, go check out our link in our Instagram bio, X bio. Or my Facebook page at 3.podcast, or Nick writer on Facebook. You can find the link to the merch site, buy a shirt. People love them. You'll get on our Instagram, X, and Facebook. If you do that, then send me a picture. Like I said, delivery times have been faster than expected, and the quality is very, very good on the shirts themselves. I also want to say to anyone that might own a small business, or maybe you just do some landscaping on the side or whatever, and you want a shout out on the podcast, go ahead and message us. You can also reach out to us at 3.podcast@gmail.com is another way to get a hold of us for professional inquiries. And Will and I are going to be working on ads. We're selling merch. Share it if you like the podcast. Share it with a friend. Send it out there.
Yeah, and
Well,
if you're
we're like, send it out. Let's get our views up.
Yeah, I'm with it.
If you like the show, let's try to make it bigger.
And if you're thinking whether or not you want to advertise with us, just listen to like the first 15 minutes of last week's show, and there's an integrated ad in there. You can't really even tell. So
that's true.
If that's what you're looking for,
remember, you either buy a shirt or you're a pedophile, and will harass you.
Pretty much. There's no great. There's much like where I live. Much like dislike.
You ready? You good?
I'm almost ready. My screen's actually black right now, so I can't see my. Oh, there we go. All right. Cool. All right. And you good? I'm good.
This has been the 3 Dot Podcast.